Just when you thought you were done painting, you discover paint bleed under your tape. Not with Frog Tape. Frog Tape is the only painter's tape treated with paint block technology. Paint block reacts with the water in latex paint to form a micro barrier against paint bleed, giving you the sharpest lines possible. Get professional results with Frog Tape. No messy lines, no paint bleed. For sharp lines, every time, Frog it.
Shawn Mendes and his ex Camila Cabello. Only one show gets backstage with the stars before they hit the Wango Tango stage, and we'll have that for you on Monday.
You know, if you're co-parent,
happening now.
A San Antonio philanthropist in Uvalde today to give assistance directly to families. What one grieving father had to say about the help.
County leaders are saying enough is enough. Coming up, what they're doing and what measures they are taking to help curb gun violence in Bexar County.
There's still hope for a few showers through the night tonight. We're going to talk about that and, of course, the triple-digit heat headed our way. The news at 5 starts right now.
First at 5, more details surrounding the Uvalde school shooting coming to light today.
So we've learned that the Uvalde CISD police chief, Pete Arredondo, who's faced a lot of criticism for a delayed response, didn't have his radio on him while he was in charge of responding to the shooting. State Senator Roland Gutierrez told the Associated Press that he received this update from an official with the Texas Department of Public Safety who's investigating the attack.
Right now, it is unclear how law enforcement officials were communicating with the chief while he was at the scene of Robb Elementary, where 19 kids and 2 teachers' lives were taken.
And as the Uvalde community continues to grieve, a San Antonio philanthropist is helping.
Yeah, the organization Kim's Angels is donating $2 million to Uvalde. Half of that money will go directly to the victims and their families.
Garrett Berger shares the moments that some of those families were freed of the financial hardship during this very difficult time.
One grieving family after another coming into the Civic Center today, each gathering a check for $40,000. The money not to replace their lost children, but to allow the families the space to grieve for them.
They lack funds right now. They haven't been able to work for at least the last week, and this right here will help to lighten their load.
The father of Jacqueline Cazares said they were laying his 9-year-old daughter to rest today.
We weren't expecting this. You know, it's something that's greatly appreciated.
The grieving father says his family wants to pay it forward as much as they can.
We want to start a foundation as well for my daughter and try to help out because that's the way she was. We always want to help out.
The executive director of Kim's Angels says they doubled the check amount for the family of teacher Irma Garcia, whose husband Joe died shortly after her from what their family says was a broken heart. And at least 3 other injured victims will also get checks, as the organization hoping to leave behind $1 million today. But the foundation says there will be more to come to help other injured victims and the larger community.
We're giving away $1 million to the nonprofits, the city, the school, and probably I'm going to give another couple million to help them build a recreation center here for the kids to do after-school programs.
One of many efforts to make families feel seen and cared for.
Well, helping out no matter how little or how big it is, everybody's been helping out. It's been great. It's not just Uvalde, people from all over the world.
Out at Robb Elementary, there's been a steady stream of people coming to see and observe and even add to this memorial that's sprung up outside of the school. And we've also seen neighbors trying to step up and make sure that they can help in some way. An example of that, we're going to have it coming up at 6 o'clock. Live in Uvalde, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
As we continue our coverage of the shooting at Robb Elementary, we're taking the time to remember the victims. 3 more children laid to rest today.
They are 9-year-old Jackie Cazares, who family describes as a tough-minded firecracker, always wanting to help people in need. 10-year-old Jayla Silguero, who was a fan of TikTok and enjoyed being outdoors. Her 10-year-old cousin Jace Luovanos also laid to rest today.
His family says even though he liked school, he wanted to miss last Tuesday to visit the San Antonio Zoo. Just awful when you hear little details like that about those families and those kids. Now, this weekend, there's going to be a benefit concert for Uvalde. It is Sunday at Cowboys Dance Hall. The doors open at 6. Concert starts at 7. Performers like Easton Corbin, Kevin Fowler, and other country music groups will also perform.
Tickets for the iHeart Uvalde benefit concert are available at iHeartRadioTexas.com. We have a link on our website. Proceeds will go to the Robb School Memorial Fund.
Enough is enough. That's what county leaders are saying when it comes to gun violence across the nation.
Erica Hernandez shares the steps now being taken to curb violence right here.
County leaders are upset and angry, wanting change and wanting it now.
A special session needs to be called now because in less than 3 months away, the fall school semester will begin.
Several departments not waiting for the legislature to convene in January 2023, so they're implementing their own changes.
Starting Monday, we are in every case where we handle a case involving a weapon and we have a successful prosecution, we will move to destroy every weapon.
Gonzalez also saying that his office willing to prosecute cases dealing with people who have devices that modify guns from semi-automatic to automatic weapons.
If you have that in your possession and that case is filed with us, we will prosecute you.
The Perry County Sheriff's Office plans to offer more active shooter response and stop the bleed training to civilians in schools, as well as more gear like shields and bulletproof vests for patrol deputies. County commissioners will be trying to pass more funding for mental health services, gun locks, and education and outreach programs for gun safety.
They also made it clear that they will be reinforcing a policy that will not allow gun shows at any county property. Now, county commissioners will be taking up additional funding measures coming up in their next meeting on Tuesday. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Taking a look at other stories we're following this Friday. A 13-year-old boy is dead after a run-in with San Antonio police officers. Family identifying him to KSAT as AJ Hernandez. According to San Antonio police, the teen was shot by an officer around 1:30 this morning while trying to flee in a stolen vehicle. This all happened along Warcloud Street near Old Pearsall Road and Loop 410. SAPD says when officers arrived at the scene, Hernandez reversed in the vehicle and T-boned a patrol car. At some point while chasing the vehicle, an officer fired a shot, hitting the teen in the abdomen. He died at the hospital. 2 other teens in that car were not hurt. The officer has been placed on administrative leave pending an investigation.
He escaped a prison bus last month, and 3 weeks later, he's dead. His capture, though, is not ideal. Officers found convicted killer Gonzalo Lopez yesterday night in Jordanton, where investigators say he murdered a family of 5. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the story.
The dramatic weeks-long manhunt for a convicted murderer on the run coming to a violent end. Gonzalo Lopez, who had escaped from a prison bus after stabbing the driver last month, shot and killed by law enforcement overnight after police say he gunned down a family of 5 in their weekend cabin and stole their truck in Centerville, Texas. Authorities in Atascosa County, just 220 miles southwest of the cabin, spotted the stolen pickup truck from an alert sent out hours earlier.
At that time, they trailed Gonzalo, and then ultimately the tires were spiked on that vehicle. After a short chase and a crash, Gonzalo Lopez exited the Chevy Silverado with a firearm and engaged law enforcement officers who engaged back and ultimately killed Lopez.
The search for Lopez intensifying on Thursday after someone called police for a welfare check on an elderly relative at a rural cabin. Inside the home, authorities finding the bodies of a family of 5, including 4 children.
So right there tells you just exactly how dangerous he is. He was in prison for murder, so he's serving a life sentence already. So he didn't want to go back to prison, obviously, and we knew what kind of person he was and what kind of action he probably was going to take.
Authorities say it's unclear whether Lopez had been staying in the family's cabin or had ambushed them upon their arrival. A Houston area school district releasing a statement saying the children were students in their community. Tomball ISD saying, quote, the loss of a student for any reason is heartbreaking, but for it in such a tragic way is excruciating.
And officials in Texas say they're conducting a serious review of how Lopez was able to breach their security protocols. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Back here in San Antonio, we have learned the name of a Brandeis High School student who died in a crash yesterday on what was his last day of school. He has been identified as Amir Abdelrida. He was 17 years old. According to SAPD, he was driving along Hausman Road yesterday afternoon when he hit an SUV as it was pulling out of a bus barn. 4 people in the car with Amir were injured. 3 of them taken to the hospital, 1 treated at the scene. The driver and passenger in the SUV were also hospitalized. Northside ISD tells us one of those people is a transportation employee. Details of that crash still being investigated.
So now we're going to take a live look outside just to show you what the traffic is like. This is I-35 at Evans Road. And yeah, it's 5:07 right now, so things are starting to pick up. But look, no delays, no traffic to tell you about, at least not in that part of town.
Not quite as hot today, 94 for the high temperature, so similar to what we had yesterday, but we trimmed off a few degrees from what we had earlier in the week. The average, by the way, 91, record today, 100. Notice that record. We're going to be up there in that record challenging territory in the days ahead. Right now, mostly 90s, low to mid 90s for most of us. 91 in Lakey, 92 Leon Springs, Seguin 91 degrees, Utopia 97, and Mico currently at 92. Temperatures gradually falling this evening. Will be in the mid 80s by 10 o'clock, by midnight near 80 degrees. Warm, you'll notice the humidity as well. We warm up into the weekend and early next week. We'll talk about how hot and when, along with still a sliver of hope for a few showers tonight. We're going to get into that in just a bit, Steph.
Ooh, that's a tease. All right, Adam, thank you. From refrigerators to children's pajamas, hundreds of thousands of potentially dangerous products that you may have in your home are now being recalled. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz shows us what to look out for, plus an alert about a safety product that's been linked to 3 deaths.
Stop using these portable bed rails. That's the message from federal regulators after the deaths of 3 elderly people. This warning targets 10 models of bed rails by Mobility Transfer Systems. The government warns that people can become trapped and suffocate and wants them out of homes. The company has declined to recall them. Hundreds of thousands of refrigerators are recalled. Electrolux is pulling 13 models, mostly Frigidaires. It has 185 reports of an ice maker part falling into the bucket, a choking danger. One person suffered cuts to his mouth. These refrigerators were all sold since 2020. You can contact Electrolux to schedule a repair. If you'd like to see a list of all of the affected models, we have those on our website. 56,000 microwavable bowl holders by Demdaco are recalled. The fabric can char. 3 fires have been reported. Return these to the store and get your money back. And Target is recalling 120,000 sets of children's pajamas. They don't meet safety standards for flammability. These are Cat and Jack Unicorn Cozy PJ sets. Take them back. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Still to come on the news at 5, the latest jobs report is promising and the numbers are good news. What it means for the economy and for you when we come back.
I'm Myra Arthur, and coming up tonight at 6, enough is enough. That's the message from 2 mothers who know the pain of losing a child to gun violence all too well.
My son didn't die in a mass shooting, but it's just as if he did.
In the wake of 19 children being gunned down in Uvalde, these mothers are pushing for change. Their effort to try to prevent the next tragedy. That story is coming up at 6.
Thanks, Myra. We'll look forward to it. New data released by the Labor Department shows the strong hiring streak in the U.S. continues. Jobs growth in May was strong, with 390,000 jobs added just last month.
Now, the unemployment rate remains near record lows, but the U.S. isn't out of the woods just yet. ABC's Faith Abube explains the major concerns the U.S. is still facing.
A balancing act for President Biden today after a better than expected May jobs report despite record inflation. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reporting 390,000 new jobs were created last month, leaving unemployment at a steady 3.6%, a pandemic low.
The job market is the strongest it's been since just after World War II.
The president crediting his economic plan and the rollout of a vaccination program for the jobs growth. But while the employment numbers are good, the state of the economy is complicated, with record high inflation driving up consumer prices and eating into Americans' incomes.
I know that even with today's good news, a lot of Americans remain anxious, and I understand the feeling.
Gas prices among the major concerns. According to AAA, 8 states from Arizona to California are seeing an average of more than $5 a gallon.
Essentially every hour, the national average is setting a new record.
In parts of Los Angeles, some drivers are paying more than $8 for a gallon of regular gas. President Biden once again blaming the high food and gas costs on Russia's war in Ukraine. To ease some of the burden on American families, the president urging Congress to pass his clean energy proposal.
One way we can make things a little better for families is by helping them save on other basic items their family needs on a monthly basis.
And the president also says OPEC announcing plans to boost oil supplies by 50% more in July and August is positive news. But an analyst at GasBuddy tells ABC News he's skeptical because the oil cartel has repeatedly overpromised and underdelivered. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
All right, now we're taking a live look outside. Ooh, don't those images look inviting? 516 right now, 91 degrees. Here we have Sky 12 over Six Flags, where let's just face it, the day couldn't look any prettier, but does it feel pretty? That's the
Not
question.
waiting in those lines there, probably. And they've yet to open up the water park. That's probably coming real soon, though.
Oh, they'll get on that in a hurry now.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. Especially when you look at the forecast. High temperatures, 99 tomorrow. We should be triple digits by Sunday. We're expecting 101. Then Monday, that's when we'll peak at about 103 for the high temperature. But I do think we'll get into the pattern where it's very humid in the morning, and then by the afternoon, the hottest part of the day, the humidity really falls off, and that helps actually warm the air because that drier air heats up pretty efficiently. All right, let's talk about rain. Now, we did have a few little showers here and there earlier today. We're seeing a few trying to develop. Southwestern Bandera County, and really not a lot out there, but there's been the effort, at least a little bit of an attempt here and there. Most of the shower activity right now closer to the Gulf coastline, right along, basically along the bays and just barely inland. Here's the big picture. We had a big wound up system in North Texas overnight, and it dissipated into the morning and midday hours. Still some leftover energy and activity moving toward Dallas through an outflow boundary through our neck of the woods earlier today. The point is we're going to see more of these thunderstorm complexes tonight. And right now what we're focusing on is southeastern New Mexico. And the reason is with the big upper level high over basically southern Baja Peninsula, Cabo San Lucas area, that puts us in this northwesterly flow aloft. And whenever we get into that, it can steer the remnants of those complexes of thunderstorms our way. And so if this activity just decides to organize in eastern New Mexico, West Texas later tonight, there is the off chance some of it could make its way here to the Alamo City and even surrounding areas. So here's our future cast, and don't take this for a promise or what it's showing. Take it with a grain of salt here. Shows that thunderstorm activity coming together, maybe even making it to Rock Springs toward Del Rio Junction area in the very early morning hours tomorrow. We're talking 4 or 5 a.m. and then possibly moving its way into the hill country before dissipating. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in that actually happening. There is that outside chance, but I think it's a very outside chance, especially with the way the high-resolution computer models have been handling the atmosphere the past couple of days. 92 now, dew point of 63, not much of a breeze. You can tell we've had outflow boundaries, clouds, and rain off in North Texas. 79 in Dallas and Abilene. Lubbock right now, 76. You get to Del Rio, though, 98 degrees. 98 in Cotulla, Pleasanton 95, meanwhile 91 right now in Kerrville. So for the most part, we've got our temperatures in the 90s, from the lower 90s to the upper 90s across our area. Tomorrow morning, 73 degrees. There's that 10% chance, covering the off chance of remnant showers actually making their way toward us. But otherwise, it's going to be a sunny Saturday. 99 the high temperature, so back into the upper 90s tomorrow. Then we get into Sunday. 101 is what we're expecting, another sunny and hot day, and that would tie the record for the day. Monday, 103 is the forecast. That would be a new record by a couple of degrees. Then our pattern shifts just a little bit, and we trim off a few degrees, not that you're necessarily going to notice much of a difference. It's psychological to see that on the screen.
Of course.
100's 100.
All right, well, at least we know what to expect now. I'll tell you what happened last night during the NBA Finals, that was a little bit difficult to predict. We thought that it was the Warriors, and then it just turned around. It
turned around on a dime in that fourth quarter. What a comeback. And guess who was part of that? Former Spur himself, Derek White. Big part of that comeback last night with a stunning upset in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Got that for you when we come back. Plus, the Cowboys sack leader prior to last season wants that title back. The challenge is given coming up. The Boston Celtics beat the Golden State Warriors by beating them at their own game, outscoring the Warriors 21 three-pointers compared to the 19 to steal Game 1 of the NBA Finals last night in San Francisco. And that's after Steph Curry got off to a roaring start, setting an NBA record for the most three-pointers in the first quarter was 6. He would only have one more for the rest of the game. Golden State looked like they were going to put it away in the third on a 12-2 run, thanks to Jordan Poole's three-pointer to go up by 12. But Boston bounces back in the fourth with their own 12-2 run that included back-to-back threes from former Spur Derek White. He would finish with 21, including 5 three-pointers. The Celtics outscored the Warriors 40-16 in the fourth for the stunning 120-108 victory on the road.
The road is the time where it's just us. We come together as a group. We know it's just us versus them in their arena. So we enjoy playing on the road. I mean, it's a tough place to play. And a big Game 1, and we just got to be a little greedy and try to get this Game 2.
And that Game 2 will come on Sunday at 7 o'clock live right here on KSAT 12.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Micah Parsons about to start his second season as the Dallas Cowboys. After a great first year, the Defensive Rookie of the Year led the Cowboys in sacks, a 13, beating out DeMarcus Lawrence. He only had 3, but played in just 7 games. Tank says he wants that title back this year. So what does Parsons have to say about that?
It makes me want to compete. You know, it's healthy for the locker room. I want D-Law to step up. I want him to be who he is. I'm not taking that away from him, but I started telling him he's never getting that back, ever in his life. You know, he got to enjoy it. I want him to get all the enjoyment that he possibly can, feed his head so he could be a 10-sack guy, great. But if 10's the number, I'm going for 20.
There you go. Now, one of the big improvements Houston Texans must make this season is in their running game. They brought in such veterans as Rex Burkhead, who's about to start his second season in Houston, but they've also tried to upgrade through the draft, where they used the 4th-round draft pick this year to select Florida's Dameon Pierce. So what is Rex Burkhead's assessment of Pierce at the Texans OTAs?
A lot of energy, rookie coming in, finishes plays. He's trying to learn as much as he can as quickly as possible, and that's what you got to do as a rookie. You got to learn it quick, but also don't let it get all jumbled in your mind when you get out there on the field. And so every single day he seems more confident. He's moving quicker, and the game's starting to slow down.
And of course, we'll catch you up on what O'Connor is able to do at the state tournament in softball, and also what Reagan is able to do tonight in Game 2 of their baseball playoffs.
All right. Thank you, Greg. We'll look forward to it.
And we'll be right back after this.
All right, let's visit that system down in the tropics. Still not officially a named storm or tropical cyclone necessarily. A lot of rain, though, moving through Florida. And it's going to be that way through the weekend for them. Around here, sunny, triple digits.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you for watching the news at 5.
World News is next. We'll see you back here at 6.
See ya.